Jamie Carragher, can he be replaced, and if so, by who? Will Radamel Falcao's next move spark a managerial merry-go-round, and which club will be giving Edinson a good reception next season? Joining me, a former Scotland international, Gary McAllister, and international football writer, Peter Staunton. 5 topics, 5 minutes. I'm James Richardson. This is Transfer Talk. All right, we've got a minute first off on Christian Eriksen. Why is he so special, and where's he going to be?
Christian Eriksen has been touted as one of the emerging talents in Europe over the past few years. He's held himself down at Ajax just to learn his trade a little bit more, but it seems that this summer, with his contract expiring in 2014, it looks like he's going to be on the move. Liverpool, Spurs, and to a lesser extent, just recently, Borussia Dortmund have been linked with his signature.
All right, well, he's a tasty-looking player,
yes.
So maybe being alongside Suarez isn't such a great idea. Do you think Liverpool...
No, I think, to be fair, I think they would work well together. Both very good technically. I think the interesting thing is I don't think Liverpool would like to get beaten again by Tottenham. They've lost a couple of players in recent times, Sigurdsson and Dempsey, most recent. So if Liverpool are going to go for them, I think they need to get in there quickly. And I think that's what's going to happen with a lot of clubs across Europe this year. I think you'll find clubs trying to do their business nice and early so that they can get the pick of the crop. Might be that a certain Borussia Dortmund needed services because they've got 1 or 2 players of a similar nature heading out the door.
Yeah, Mario Götze, who's going to join Bayern Munich at the end of the season in a deal worth 38 million euros or so. So Jurgen Klopp has replaced quite well the players that he's lost. Marco Reus came in to replace Kagawa last year, and Ilkay Gundogan came in to replace Nuri Sahin. So I don't know, if they lose Götze, they'll be looking at another playmaker like Eriksen.
All right then, that's enough of that. Next question. Falcao, I keep reading he's going to Chelsea. Is that the key to the Mourinho return to Stamford Bridge?
Certainly an appetising proposition, isn't it, returning to Stamford Bridge with Falcao as your #1 striker. It looks like Mourinho will be departing Real Madrid this summer, whatever happens. They're a long way behind Barcelona, and they're already touting replacements perhaps for the managerial position.
They are. We've heard Ancelotti may be leaving Paris Saint-Germain, going to Real Madrid.
It's hard to keep up with this, isn't it?
It is. And then who replaces Ancelotti? Arsene Wenger now, they're saying.
Well, it's
Claudio Ranieri in at Arsenal, I bet.
First, I don't see Mourinho getting into Paris. I just don't think that the French league's got the profile for him. And my feeling would be that Falcao will follow Mourinho.
Right, OK.
Wherever he ends up.
And wherever he ends up.
Yeah.
You can't downplay the agent link either between George Mendes, obviously, Falcao, who's represented by Mendes now, and obviously who's represented Mourinho for a long time.
It's always amazing that talking about agents now. They could be dictating where most people go.
Exactly, right. And we see that with Zlatan Ibrahimović.
Let's move on to Mimo Raiola, the kingmaker, the man who makes dreams come true. And there's a certain team in Italy that has the dream of bringing Ibrahimović back to Turin. Well, Juventus.
Ibrahimović for me is, you know, when he's on song, he's as good as anybody across the world, you know. And whether it happens often enough, I was very surprised that he chose to go into the French league at Paris, but obviously they must have been throwing unbelievable amounts of money. But I would see him going back to Italy, I must admit.
You think he might go to Man City, Pete?
He could do. I think it's no secret that City's #1 target this summer is Edinson Cavani. But if they do miss out on Cavani, then Ibrahimović could be a nice short-term solution. Obviously, Begiristain and Soriano, who were involved with Barcelona at the time of the transfer of Ibrahimović from Inter, you know, so they know how to do business, Raiola, and obviously Roberto Mancini, another big admirer of Ibrahimović, and he could come in and finally, as they say, try and prove himself in the English league.
Thinking, it's always in the back of my mind why he's not chosen to try and play in the English Premiership before.
Perhaps he will now.
Well, but I just don't know. I think it's a league that you might look at and think, well, it might just be a little bit too tough week in, week out, and maybe the weather might have something to do with it as well. There's something tells me that
Black belt in Taekwondo, Ibrahimović thinks the Premier League is too tough.
I don't understand why he's never tried it before.
All right, well, maybe we're going to find out this summer. Let's talk next about Luis Suarez. What's the latest from Liverpool, Gary?
Well, I've got to say, I was at Anfield 10 days ago, or a fortnight ago, watching the game against Chelsea. Like everybody else, I was absolutely gobsmacked when I seen what he'd done. But during the game, people off their seats, people off their bums. You know, he was some of the things he did during the game. You know, and then all the talking points after the game was obviously the biting. So
where's he going though? Where
is he going? Well, if I'd love him to stay. I think everybody at Liverpool would love him to stay. But if you were saying where would he go, I think that the tie-in would be who his agent is. Guardiola at Bayern. I think he's looked after by Guardiola's brother.
Right.
Maybe Bayern.
But would Bayern want biting Uruguayan handballer Luis Suarez?
Well, I think they would see it as an ideal opportunity to rehabilitate his reputation and rehabilitate his career. Look, make no mistake about it, Bayern are going to be the top dogs in European football for the next 5 or 10 years. And I think Luis Suarez, with his ambitions for the Champions League success, would love to be a part of that.
Right. Given what's happened with the 10-game ban, is it now likely that he's going to be leaving this summer?
Well, if you recall when Eric Cantona kicked a fan in the chest, it was almost the same thing where people were saying, well, that's it now, they've hung him out to dry and he's leaving English football. But he did come back and he was successful at Manchester United. And I think Suarez has a lot to prove still to Liverpool. And after they stuck by him in the racism row, I think he owes them quite a little bit.
Absolutely, especially for those T-shirts. Now, finally, definitely leaving Liverpool is Jamie Carragher, who's hanging up his boots. Some people talking about Ashley Williams. Some people are talking about exciting Feyenoord defender Stefan de Vrij.
De Vrij, Stefan de Vrij, the Feyenoord captain, 21 years of age, centre-back, has established himself in Louis van Gaal's Dutch team. His contract is running out in 2014, so if Feyenoord are going to do some business, they want to lose him for a decent fee this summer as opposed to losing him on a free next year.
But it's a big role to fill inside Rodgers' defence.
You know, and I've got to say, having worked with Jamie, I know how big a part he plays, not only on a match day, on the pitch, but, during the week, he trains like a beast. Very vocal from Monday to Friday as well, getting people up to a level in their training standards. So I think, coming into cover for James, it's a big ask, it's a big task as well. But I do like Ashley Williams. The only thing against that is that it goes against the sort of model that Liverpool are going for. This young, resellable player. I think Ashley's now 28, 29. But as far as ability, and he's talking, I think he's a good organiser. And I think that would be good for Liverpool. And
he might be more comfortable with Rodgers' defensive style than, say, Aga's been.
Well, I think he's a good defender, but I think he's more comfortable with Rodgers' attacking football because they like to start their attacks from the back. I think Skirtle is not as comfortable as Agger or Williams in possession, and I think that's why they're looking for a footballing centre-half.
Ding! Time's up. Oof, too much information. Wow, that was our 5 in 5, and if you like this and want more, just click on the subscribe button.